Hey guys, I want to talk with you a little bit today about one thing you can do for yourselves to try to mitigate your stress level in life as you encounter different sorts of situations that the situation itself may be particularly stressful for you as an individual, but when you start to share details about that situation with people, there is a line in the sand in my mind and a different tack to take that will hopefully prevent a little bit of unnecessary stress that you need to go through and be subjected to. And I'm specifically talking about these instances where, we've all got people that are close to us, family, friends, relatives, like whatever, that they care about us and they want the best for us, of course. But a lot of people have a lot of stress. A lot of people have an overactive mind. A lot of people have a lot of anxiety. A lot of people are really good at assuming the worst case scenario. And specifically, as the title of the post references here, they're very good at speculating, right? They just, all day long, they'll just dream up all kinds of stuff that has never happened maybe, or will never come to pass, or whatever. They can just extrapolate things out in their mind to an infinite degree with only one little small piece of what I call this speculation food. If you give them food to speculate over, an overactive mind will create all sorts of different gyrations, and just all people will go into a tizzy at times if they are this type of person in life and they are close to you, and if you give them food for speculation, right? And unfortunately, I think if you are the type of person that's calm, cool, collected, you know how to handle yourself, you know how to address whatever situation you're going through, just the fact that you've got to first of all, put somebody else through this sort of situation in life to do the speculating, and then the fact that you've got to deal with everything that comes out of them and radiates off of them and bounces off of you, and oftentimes gets reflected back onto you. Not only do you have to deal with whatever the situation is that's causing you stress, but then you've got to deal with them, and it becomes more of a distraction, and it riles you up. And even I think the most disciplined and best, strongest minded folks of us out there, like when we see somebody like that that's close to us going through something like that, it stresses us out a little bit. It affects us, of course. And I submit to you that it is possible to try to prevent that altogether, or at least mitigate it to some extent, with this strategy that I'm talking about here. And that's very specifically like just making a differentiation in your mind and knowing when to just delay or wait until you've actually got hard, firm, physical facts to give people to process, as opposed to when you're actually giving them food to speculate over or something to worry about, right? And don't mistake this for a second here. I'm not saying to withhold details or to hide things or to just not tell a partner or a family member or a best friend or a loved one, whoever. I'm not saying don't tell them things. I'm just saying, maybe wait a little bit, until you yourself actually have the facts to go off of, and you can actually give them something that's hard and definitive. And however they react is how they're going to react, and that's fine, but at least like that's a real situation, and you're just giving it to them straight up, right? And you're not allowing them to go through this whole mental roundabout, everything I just talked about, because you're not giving them something to speculate over. And I know it's hard to maybe draw these distinctions as you go through life, but I guarantee you're going to see a very big difference if you're able to keep this mindset about you and you're able to operate in such a fashion. And I wanted to give just like a little small example from my life here, right? Like I have some small like a rental property that I operate, and I was telling, this was months back, I was telling my mother about an issue that was going on with, there was like an electrical, like burning something or other smell in one of the units there that I got a call from the tenant over. And so I told this detail to my mother, and she's unfortunately, like she's really good at worrying, and it's just the type of person she is. But with that small little detail, I mean, in her mind, she's starting to think about like the building burning down. I mean, she's starting to think about people getting hurt. She's starting to think about like all the costs associated with fixing a problem like this. She's starting to think about like, maybe you should get out of this thing, and this is not worth it anymore, and this is like going to sink you, and this is going to ruin you financially, all this kind of stuff. So just that one little detail of a small electrical problem like propagates in one's mind to be like so many other things. And as I said, just listening to all these things that she was throwing back at me, it was like stressing me out. And I'm like, wait a second, like let me just take a drive out there, let me assess the situation, let me see exactly what's going on here, and then from there, we'll think about various things that could come of this, or what this all means in the big picture of this situation here. But I remember thinking back on that instance, and there's been so many examples in life that I've found this to be the case, and seems to work really well. A contrast in that situation would be to maybe not even mention the fact that I got a call from the tenant that day before I went out there and made the assessment of what was going on, and just told her like later in the day, like, hey, I took a drive out there. I went to see what was wrong. It was a really minor thing, and I bought a couple of replacement parts. I fixed it in 10 minutes, and everything's fine. Everything's safe. Everybody's okay. Building's fine. Move on with life, kind of thing. That right there leaves no room for speculation, and it's just hard facts. At the end of the day, as so many things in life are, the reality of what actually is never as bad as we create in our minds about what we think it might be. I think most of us can be good at doing those things, assuming the worst case scenario, as I said before. But I hope that just paints the concept here of the strategy of what I'm trying to get across to you guys and girls about. Just recognize when you're giving people food to speculate over, and realize when you're giving them hard, fast, definitive facts that will equate to a general, overall, less stressful situation, I think, for you in the whole zoom back like net assessment of whatever it is you're going through. Because like I said, like you just want to deal with the situation, yourself. You don't want to have to deal about what everybody else around you is thinking and saying and whatever they're going through about a situation. So you can control that a little bit. You can prevent that sort of stress from entering your life if you remember what I'm saying here and you try to implore this next time you come across a situation like where this could help you out. So, I hope you're having a wonderful day. We'll talk to you real soon.